It's a city building its future together. One business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together. One business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace meets hometown values, where Americana isn't just a tradition, it's a way of life. Here, your experience makes the difference. With access to railroads, major waterways, and 8 different highways, this is a place in motion, sending goods, services, and ideas not just across the state, but across the world. And when the work ends, the day's just beginning, with beaches like West Beach in the Indiana Dunes National Park, exciting hiking and biking trails like the Diana of the Dunes Dare or the BMX track, and local treasures and exciting festivals, you'll know you're in more than just a bedroom community. From veterans of foreign wars to hometown heroes, our diversity is our strength, and we forge our future with the same flame as our steel. Oh, there's a place in the Midwest, and it's calling you home. The best part of Portage is what's next. The best part of Portage is you. There's more for you in Indiana. There's a place in the Midwest, 50 miles southeast of Chicago, nestled near the coast of Lake Michigan. It's a place driven by what's coming next, a place where industry is the lifeblood of its community, and its pulse is gritted with sand and steel, fire and smoke. It's a city building its future together, one business, one family, and one home at a time. This is a place for makers, doers, and dreamers. It's where the global marketplace...
Welcome to the Storm meeting. Will you please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Should I start doing CPR?
Do you say the Pledge of Allegiance in school, young man, or you're not in school yet?
He asked if he should do CPR on her.
Oh, I see. All right, if we could do the roll call.
Member Gore. Here. Mayor Bonta.
Here.
Member Kressel. Here. Attorney Elwood.
We'll have our staff reports. Dan? Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to start off and say that obviously we had all this snow and it's melting now, and before the storm started we went out and we got a lot of storm drains all cleaned off, expecting to melt because of the forecast. Right now we had our skidster that we use out to clear brush and trees and that. I know the mayor's aware, but for the board members, it caught on fire. Yeah, so it's it's totaled. I called the insurance company. The adjuster called me back. She wants some more information, so I got to work that out with them. But until that time, we really need this machine. So I would like the board, well, I guess I'm kind of jumping the gun for that. I can ask that at other
That's
business.
coming in the other business. But,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
appreciate the dramatic start to this meeting.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was bad. You know, the good thing is the gentleman that was in it got out of it. We're going to try to look at some sort of different way to get a person out of that skidster, because if the head is up, she was cutting a tree at the time, and it was up, he got it down, but it was still angled, and the door would not open for him, and he had turned it off because he heard something, and then he had to turn it back on, and luckily it started. He put the head down, and then the door opened. So we're going to try to look at something with that to make sure that if we have a situation like that again, that he can get safely out of the machine, because when that chops up, it flies stuff everywhere, and the glass in front is not, it's shatterproof. So you can't just kick it and bust it and knock it out. And then around the sides, you got grating that goes across. And if you're familiar with like the mesh that they use in driveways. It's kind of the same thing, but it's smaller squares, and it's probably as big as my pinky, so it's not something you could just, bend or anything like that. So we're looking into finding out, finding a way to make it easier to where our person that's in there could get out if anything like this happens again. So, but with that being said, everything was fine, and that was a good thing. So, and that's about all I got for Storm right now. Any questions?
What caused it to catch fire?
Well, we think we're pretty sure it was a hydraulic hose that blew. And that stuff is basically like gas in a way, really. I mean, it just hit that probably hit the muffler or whatever was hot on the engine, and it just, boom, went up. I mean, it happened that quick. So, it's something, and the thing is we actually did actually change some fittings on it the day before, actually, that were leaking, and because our mechanics are really good about maintaining our stuff, and they actually changed some fittings the day before. So that's what we're assuming. We didn't get underneath it to really look underneath or anything, but the adjuster probably will come out and look at it, and maybe they can determine exactly what did happen. But that's where we're assuming the hose broke, and then it just ignited.
You have a question in back?
They do have hydraulic fluid that's less flammable. Maybe you might want to check into that.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're looking into different solutions to that. Obviously, anytime you have a fire, that's not a good thing, especially when you have them, have one of your workers inside the machine. So I know he was really shook up, and I don't blame him. And talked to him a little bit and that, and I think he's okay now, but it was just not a good situation. So, and you can see with that machine, if you look over here when you go out, that lot, like behind McDonald's kinda, all the way back, you could see what they did with that machine. And if you recall, it was a jungle back there, and if you look at it now, it's not a jungle no more. So,
I would think that that highly flammable hydraulic fluid would be a major red flag. Going forward, I think that would be a end the game type situation that we would not accept in the future, equipment with that flammable hydraulic fluid. That easily could have turned into a fatality.
yeah, yes, it could have. So like I said, it was kind of a scary situation, and Jamie's kind of looking at that, and hopefully we can come up with some sort of, fail-safe, basically. And, because you don't ever want an employee obviously getting injured, but I just wanted to kind of make you all aware of that it's a bad situation, because we do everything. We mow all our ponds, we do our ditches with that, and I mean, that thing has cut probably our time frame as far as when we do our mowing and things. It's probably, I bet you cut it down 75% as far as time goes. So it's really was a really good machine and purchase for the storm, and hopefully, like I said, we'll look at it and see what else we could do. It might even be a case of, and I don't know for sure. Like I said, that's what I got my mechanic for, Might be something where maybe they put some kind of pipe on, where it's close to the engine or something. That way, if something does happen, it leaks out. You could, set it up with the hanger so it goes away from the engine. But that's, like I said, that's up to my mechanic, and I'm sure he'll come up with something.
Dan, is there you talk about how it was hard to get out of because in part the way it's built. Does it have to do with like the age of it, or like how old was the piece of equipment? I don't mean age like something wrong. I mean age like, is anything like maybe like grandfathered in versus the new one has better safety features or something? If I'm making any sense.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. This machine is probably maybe 5 years old. I mean, it's not that old. It's not that old at all. So, it's just something, and the safety feature is so the door don't come open, the guy don't fall out when you're using the machinery. But in this case, you know, even if it's a latch, you know, like on an airplane where you pull the latch to open the door, you know, maybe something where there's some kind of something where you could pull it and it releases the door.
Like an emergency, like release,
Yes.
pop out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I don't, you know, like I said, Jamie's looking into it, and we'll go from there after he gives his recommendation.
Thank you very much. Anything else from the board on the staff report? Thank you, Dan.
Thank you all.
So that'll get us to the unfinished business. Sir, I wasn't sure, did you want to speak on, under unfinished business, just in regards to what's going on with,
No, just waiting for spring, I guess.
that's kind of where we're at, but we appreciate you being here. So I just want to make sure you had the opportunity. I appreciate your dedication coming here.
Like Dan said, you atomize that hydraulic fluid, it's like a flamethrower.
So that gets us to the new business, 2025 City of Portage Standard Detail Sheets. Oh, and we're back to Dan.
I guess I should just stay up here. All right, we have a detail for bedding for our storm drain. And there was kind of some conflicting items on there on the standard detail. So I wanted to kind of shore that up, and I worked with Sandy. And now instead of it saying a class 1 or 3 or whatever the case may be, now we got it to where it specifically says 53s. So we even had a bid come in one time, and they said, well, we could use this. And typically, anywhere on our roads, we've always used stone. You know, we've always used stone. And that's what we've always told the contractor. But with the standard detail, if it says something different, then you cannot do that. So all we're asking the board is to approve the changes to the standard detail for the pipe bedding and the pipe backfill.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And then that gets us to the landings at Portage. Kimley Horn? Oh, is that, oh, whoever's coming.
So maybe I'll get it going, and then he can explain his variance request. But last Friday, Tom Cherry, Dan, and I had a good conversation with Kimley Horn regarding the landings and a couple variances that they are going to request. And technically, we're good with the requests that are going to come before you, with a couple caveats, and the caveats being that there are some design details that aren't complete yet. So I can probably summarize after. Yep.
Sure thing. Well, great to meet you.
Yeah, good afternoon, board. Thank you for having me. So my name is Brett Hickey. I'm a civil engineer helping with the Landings at Portage project. Work for Kimley Horn, but here on behalf of the developer, Simon CRE. So pretty robust development, about 40 acres of commercial land we are developing on that parcel. So what we're looking to ask the board for from a stormwater perspective is 3 variances, mostly due to challenges with our current earthwork numbers. So we already are at about 60 cubic yards of fill on site and really can't get that number to be more balanced. And that's even with these variances we're asking for. So first variance is for including a retaining wall at our outfall pond. What that allows us to do is meet water quality standards for both the state and city. The other variance we're requesting is under drains at our, or I guess we don't need that anymore. We're going to be proposing under drains, but the second variance we're asking for is to utilize an underground detention system. Part of that to help our cut fill numbers, and the other part to allow more flexibility for the overall developer and chances for outlots and increase kind of development area. And that is it.
So again, it started out as 3, but during our discussion on Friday, it was agreed that the developer would put under drains in the detention ponds. They were not included in the design that was reviewed and approved at the Plan Commission. So that really gets rid of one of the variances that we were talking about. So they're going to go ahead and put under drains in, the idea being that those ponds are very flat and will have a tendency to be kind of wet on the bottom. So the under drains will, during dry season, really allow those detention ponds to dry out completely. So they agreed to go ahead and do that. So that variance is kind of off the table. One point I will make that's very important is that there, in the development agreement that will be recorded for this subdivision, let's call it, the property owners will be completely responsible for operation and maintenance of the stormwater system and the detention ponds. So these will be basically privately owned and operated. That will be in the development document that gets recorded. So it'll be, when people forget, we can go back and look at the recorded document and remind ourselves of that. So that's very important. So again, they're asking for a variance for underground detention. That it does require a variance from our technical standards, and for a retaining wall that's basically at the edge of one of the detention ponds, and we have setback requirements basically for all of our ponds. So a retaining wall within minimum distance of the detention pond and underground storage, and we recommend that those be approved, subject to the design drawings for the detention, underground detention, and the retaining wall be submitted, reviewed, and approved by the staff.
Are there any questions from the board?
What happens, I'm not saying Target's been out of business, but what happens if Target decides to leave? What happens with the maintenance agreement at that point?
Well, so you said Mike, please, but I think what you're saying is when it comes to the particular developers, so I think there are 16 total. I don't know if units is the right word with the development. I'm not sure the exact number, but my brain, I think it's 16. But as a development, the development exists, is it fair to say, independently of an individual store within it? Or?
Yeah, so the restrictions for that maintenance will be obligated to those lots. So depending on who the lot owner is at that time, they'll be, as he said, it'll be recorded on the property itself, not on the owner, if that makes sense.
Of the property
Of the property itself, we'll have to maintain, per the agreement, those stormwater basins. They'll share maintenance responsibilities if you own the lots in that land.
And Mr. Hannon, to your, I know you made a point, but make sure I understood it right. That's something enforceable on the city. And I just asked this for any development, right? So if we have something that's privately, owned, the way that this is written based on your recommendation, in the event that someone was being negligent, we have the ability to essentially require them to be taken care. And I'm not claiming that they will be.
That's correct. Tom and the planning staff have been working on the overall document that, the overall document for the subdivision that includes cross-access easements, property maintenance, snow plowing, maintaining the parking lots, maintaining the landscaping, and we added, as of Friday, to make it very clear, the stormwater collection and system. So that will be in a document that the attorney, Scott, and Ken will review and approve, and finally, it'll be recorded when the subdivision's recorded. So it's an enforceable document.
And I appreciate that. That was my main, thing was that. And then could you just repeat your recommendation? I know you recommended approval,
Yeah, I
but
recommend approval of the two variance requests, the underground storage and the retaining wall, basically within, closer to the pond than otherwise allowed by the technical standards. So approval of those two variances, subject to review and approval of the design documents for those systems by staff.
does anyone have any questions or a motion?
I'll make those motions, subject to final review. The reason I brought that up is I didn't want to have another issue like Sears. Sears has got a problem down there.
Yeah.
The owner of that building does anyway, with the drainage and that. I didn't want to have some kind of.
You want to learn from the
neglected
past, yeah.
property like that, and that's why I brought that up to you. So I'll make that approval.
I'll second that.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. It was a really good question, because I was thinking we had something already where there'd been an issue, and I was thinking about a different spot where people complain about something not being done, where it's not technically a city issue, So thank you. That'll get us to the claims. Gentlemen have the opportunity to look at the claims. Are there any questions or a motion?
Make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. That'll get us to any other business. Dan, I think you had some other business. Is that right?
So, when I was talking about the skidster, we're actually, because we've been using that a lot by the plant too, so we're actually going to try to switch that machine to be a plant sanitary machine instead of a storm machine. So I just kind of wanted to make the board aware of that. I just don't know if you have to approve that or not, since it was a storm before. I was hoping our attorney would be here to answer that, but he isn't. But we are going to go get a source well and get one right away, and then when we get the check from the insurance company, then we'll just put that right back into our fund. So, but like I said, Kenny isn't here right now, so.
I think we could, if we generally agree with you, assuming we do, I think that could be made as a motion contingent on attorney review. So
Okay.
assuming that we're okay with the general idea, we could approve it contingent on needing Ken's approval. So
Okay.
let's say that, if we were to vote that way, then it could be, well, you can't do it till you've talked to Ken and he gives it the thumbs up,
Okay, yes, that sounds awesome.
if that's what the board wants to do. Yeah.
How much does how much does equipment like that cost?
Well, it'd be about $88,000. So, like I said, last time when we got this machine, we actually traded in another one for this machine, so we got, quite a bit of a discount back when we bought this machine. Of course, I don't think they would give us too much money for this one now, so. But, yeah, it's about $87,000.
You mentioned talking to insurance.
Correct. Samuelson.
At this point, do we know if if we're going to get insurance money for the one that was lost? Or?
I would think so. They're asking me some more information. When I talked to James Hazard, he told me what he needed in an email, and I sent it to him. So then he sent it to the adjuster, and the adjuster sent me an email asking for more information, so to call her. So I have to get in touch with her or email her the other information, but I don't think it'd be a problem.
Going forward, it's a very large concern of mine on the flammability of the hydraulic fluid. Going forward, if available, even at extra expense, I would like to see a non-flammable hydraulic fluid machine.
Well, hydraulic fluid, there will not be any non-flammable. It's like gas. You can't make a non-flammable gas. It could still start on fire, okay? but it might have a higher temperature a resistance. So basically, if you're...
Say, Dan, I think attorney just walked in, and I don't exactly know why he's here, but would you be willing to maybe come? I'm kidding. I'm guessing you're here to represent, be there instead of Ken. Thank you for being here. So no problem. We were looking to see, Dan can probably explain it better, but essentially we're discussing a situation where we might want to potentially approve something conditional on attorney review. Not that you'd necessarily have to make the call right now, but essentially, Dan, if you want to explain it real quick, essentially we're looking to see if the board were to approve it, could it be approved where it could hypothetically be like a yes, except we need one of you guys to review it first to make sure it's legal. But Dan, if maybe you could restate why there's a legal question to it.
Okay, what I was wondering, this was a storm machine, and it caught on fire, okay, and it's totaled. So we need to get another one, but since the plant, we use it by the plant, and we use it for mostly storm, my question is, since it was a storm, does the board have to make a motion to be able to allow the sanitary to buy it, or does that not matter?
The board would have to make a motion to let sanitary to buy it, or sanitary to buy it, yes.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. You showed up just in time. What?
Could you state your full name for the record?
Nathaniel Henson, Henson.
And joking aside, he's part of the Raymond Elwood firm. He's here under directions to help assist this meeting. So I think the concern on our end, of course, you know, we definitely are cautious concerned because of what happened with the
Right.
last piece.
Right.
I mean, I think it is safe to say that it wasn't expected, how do I put it? It's not like when you buy this, it's a high level of risk, is what you're saying. I'm going to be really careful here. Like, I drive a city vehicle from time to time.
Right.
And I don't want this to happen, but if my city, and I understand there's a difference in terms of fluid, but if there was a problem with the vehicle when I turned it on and, you know, that there was a fire or something, I mean, I wouldn't want that to happen for sure. I'd want to survive that, but basically, it's not, I wouldn't necessarily come to the Board of Works if we got insurance money and say, hey, I'd like to switch to an electric vehicle because I don't trust the one that I was using.
Right.
And I'm not trying to say that lighthearted. I'm trying to say it like, you don't think it's the particular equipment as what it is. There was a problem with this piece, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I've been around skidsters, bobcats, whatever you want to call them, for years and years. I've never seen one catch on fire before. I've heard of them catching on fire. Like I said, it's just, it was just an unfortunate situation, and hopefully, if the adjuster looks at it, because like I said, I know they want to come look at it, you know, maybe they can give us more insight, because they might have seen something like this before. So that's kind of where we're at with that. But like I said, we are going to try to see, try to see if we could do something to alleviate that problem, or at least have a plan if it should ever occur again. And as far as the hydraulic fluid, it would be like maybe a grade that's higher temperature before it gets combustible. That would be the only thing, you know, I could think of that it would be. Because typically everything, I mean, you know, your garbage trucks use hydraulic fluid. Plow trucks use hydraulic fluid. Track hose use, all big machinery all uses hydraulics. Our vac trucks use hydraulics. So, I mean, our sweepers everything uses hydraulics, and hydraulic fluid. So, like I said, if there is something out there like that, Jamie will come up with something. Like I said, he's a good mechanic, and he'll come up with something. We'll figure out something on, to make it to where there's, like I said, maybe a release on the door, where you could just release it yourself, and you don't have to have that head all the way down to the ground.
Dan, do you think, assume this goes through, I mean, do you think that maybe by the next, well, depending on delivery, right? Maybe by the next meeting, maybe Jamie could come and go over some of the things that I want to say like he's working on, or like what he's reviewed for it?
Yeah,
I'm not like gonna ask us to vote to like compel Jamie to come. I just figured we could probably talk to him. I'm sure he'd be able to make it.
yeah, Jerry wouldn't have a problem with that, and I could and like I said, it's, we'll have, hopefully we'll be able to get this machine in pretty soon. Yeah, he can come talk about it, though.
But I think what you're saying is that we have, you know, both in utilities and throughout the city, we've got other vehicles using hydraulic fuel.
Correct.
And we can certainly be on the lookout for stuff that's less flammable. You know, again, there's no such thing as such a fuel that isn't flammable. But I
Right.
mean, we can try to do our best efforts, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes, of course.
have
Safety
another-
is our primary concern.
On that point also, if available, optional even equipment, you mentioned that he had difficulty exiting the vehicle. I found that a lot of mobile equipment have kick-out windows.
The kick-out windows in the back where the fire was. So that's why I said, I've been referring to the door. That to me is the quickest and safest way to get out.
If we could have like Jamie or somebody even on our side kind of rig or set up something on the door so that the door has an emergency escape
Yeah.
rather than being.
Yeah, maybe just something where you just pull and it unlocks it even if the head is not completely down. So, like I said, Jamie's he's gonna look into that and we'll come up with a plan. Right now we have not sat down and really discussed it a lot. But we're gonna come up with some kind of plan.
Yep.
Yeah, well, like I said, I've never seen one, and I've been doing this quite a few years, and I've never, ever seen one. And I've seen some old machines. Matter of fact, that guy over there, a guy he had working for him before it got stolen, that thing was how many years old, Mel? I mean, it was pretty ancient. So that machine probably might have been in service, well, not before I was born, but yeah, it would, so like I said, it's something I've never, and who knows? Like I said, hopefully maybe when the adjusters come and look at it, maybe they've had some more, some other experiences with it since that's what they do. And, when they come to look at it, I could talk to them and ask them, have you seen many of these, the situation with many of these, and, and see what she says. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Do we have any other questions or a motion related? Or are we at the right board for that? Yeah?
Oh, do we gotta make a motion on that then?
That was my question. I think we needed a motion and a vote to approve it, yeah.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the equipment contingent on the attorney's legal opinion on that.
Through sanitary,
Through sanitary.
Department.
So we've got a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. We actually had a couple of different layers to that situation. And thankfully, we had an attorney walk in. So, not walk in, but yeah. That'll be the paper's version of the story, Any other business or a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye.